Buddy Murder. Buddy Murder was born and bred on the 35th of November 1778 in the town of South Cheesespread, Philadelphia, the same year that renowned artist Victoria Cowpat created the world's largest manure heap, a fact of which he was so proud that he later bragged, "The year I was born, I produced a lot of shit, but all that's behind me now." Mrs. Cowpat also created a pile of shit that year, but it seems she could never get over it. Murder was the 75th of 4 children to Welsh immigrants Owen Murder and Betsy Cohen. The family moved from Philadelphia to Dung Heap, Colacreono in 1780, where Murder spent most of his childhood and some of his pocket money. A smelly, ugly little bastard, young Murder displayed an impudent and irritating personality. He baked 2 of his brothers in a pie and fed them to his parents, married the family cat, and evicted his grandparents from their home. He once bummed a sheep in the local marketplace, vomited on his baby niece for a bet, and vigorously masturbated before a horrified congregation during his beloved Aunt Maud's funeral. Cunt. He also displayed an aptitude for playing the piano, which he did in a distinctive and innovative manner, facing away from the keyboard, using his clenched buttocks to play the melody, and stretching his penis between his spread thighs to play the bass parts. After moving to San Francisco in 1902, Murder made his first wax cylinder recordings for the renowned producer Dick Buckupabit. His first cylinder, Sneeze My Soul Dear Saviour Through the Nostrils of Your Love, was an instant failure, but his follow-up recording, From the Nasal Passage of Redemption to the Hanky of Heaven, did not do so well. Unfortunately, his next 140 recordings did much worse, and were destroyed on release. The major turning point of Murder's career came in 1914 when he was invited to avoid fighting in the First World War by singing about it instead, and by the end of 1918 he had become the single most unpopular artist of the day, Tuesday, outselling both Ida Dunnett and Irving D. License. Many of the recordings made by Murder during this time, released this year on cutting-edge technology 78 RPM disc, were so unpopular that they are now regarded as folk songs. Trench Foot Trudy, Mustard Gas Mama, Beef Bayonet Boogie, and I Took a Shot at Dawn have all become so much a part of the fabric of society that several leading musicologists have expressed surprise that they were ever written at all. By the start of 1919, Murder's popularity had declined so much that he was reduced to thinking about the possibility of getting his hair cut and getting a real job. And he continued to do so until 1939, when the demand for war songs increased significantly. Once again, Murder avoided active service by recording trite little tunes such as I Got a Wank from a Yank in a Tank, I See a Jap's Eye Peeking Through the Bush, and You Can Ration My Bananas, but Please Don't Hold My Plums. This time, the sale of his records earned him his first $1 and sealed his reputation as a cowardly bastard who would rather sing about war than take part in it. Until his death in 2012, Buddy Murder was never able to regain or match his wartime success and spent the rest of his life following the news for reports of war and writing songs which he never had the opportunity to record. By 1948, the record-buying public was sick and tired of listening to dickheads like Buddy Murder singing depressing songs about death, preferring instead to dance to newer, more optimistic rock and pop acts. Songs like Crying in My Ear About a Place Called Korea, Vietnam Pam from Birmingham, I'll Go No More to the Old Gulf War, and I Got Iraq No Phobia, published posthumously in 2014, seemed far less palatable to audiences at the start of the 21st century, who had been drained by an excess of TV talent shows and had lost the ability to appreciate a good tune when they heard one, but was still up for dancing after a few beers. Although the official cause of Murder's death has been given as natural causes brought on by exposure to shit music, there are many who believe that the lack of commercial and artistic success in his later years was the single most significant contributing factor in his death. If this is so, it is perhaps an ironic ending that many a tune had killed one of popular music's most distinguished figures, who, like many of his contemporaries, had spent most of his life killing many a good tune.